Hello, my name is Ashton Witt, and I did my research on the ICE facility living conditions and the arrest protocols that they follow. For my research question, it was how do ICE facility living conditions and arrest protocols violate human rights? At first, I was only interested in the ICE facility living conditions, but then as I got deeper into my research, I eventually was interested in their arrest procedures as well. For my thesis statement, it was the negligent living conditions in ICE detention centers and their arrest procedures are a human rights violation because no one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. I arrived at this thesis statement from thinking about how I can describe the current conditions of ICE facilities. That is why I chose such a power word as negligent. Since our semester topic is about human rights, it was easy to pick a topic I know has been an ignored problem for a long time. So, for my argument, I had these facts. 79% of detained immigrants reside in privately contracted ICE facilities. These private contracted facilities are not required to release information about the audits that they receive. The audits are to keep up living standards for the people living there. Since 2003, over 200 immigrants have died while in ICE custody, and audits of ICE government facilities found all four facilities owned by ICE failed to complete risk assessments, they restrained immigrants unnecessarily, and some immigrants slept on torn mattresses. These facts support my thesis statement because the information displays how negligent ICE really is and has been since 2003. For my counter argument, it was difficult until I found a very, very great claim by the former acting director of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Thomas Homan. So, Thomas Homan, he claimed that the contract detention facilities save millions of taxpayer dollars, therefore increasing the quality of care of the detainees. However, he has no evidence to back this claim up. I chose this counterargument because I have a reliable authority of information. Although there is no data to support what he claims to be true about increased quality of life for care of immigrants. So, for my solutions, audits should be completed from an outside source as to not be a conflict of interest. They ensure that the ICE upholds government standards in their facilities since they are in contract with the government. Since the powerful leadership of ICE blatantly ignores these, citizens who disagree with the treatment of immigrants and their families can call for an audit of all facilities. From a legislative standpoint, it would be ideal to hire more judges for immigration related court cases. It would decrease the confusion and language barriers. This would cause a calmer environment for court staff and the detainee, and also ensure that the detainee is completely understood. And thirdly, the United States has to revoke the zero tolerance policy against immigrants. This carries harmful unintended consequences. Due to this policy, federal crimes such as drug and human trafficking have increased simply because law enforcement turned their attention to prosecuting immigrants instead of drug and criminal offenders. My call to action is for people to ask for funding from CEOs of companies that support immigration reform. The funding would protect mothers and children in asylums while in the process of citizenship, while the father often works or is detained. As a result of this funding, the homeless population would decrease, followed by the crime rates in sanctuary cities. This solution is beneficial on a short term basis. On a long term basis, however, we would have to turn to our legislation. For my rhetorical situation of my essay, my audience was towards people who live in the United States and support immigration reform. The message to my audience was to inform them about the current living conditions that immigrants have to deal with and to persuade my audience to take action from the solutions that I offered and advise them to act towards legislation in their state. My purpose of this essay was to explore this topic more and learn about the research process. The context of my essay includes facts, statistics, quotes from credible sources, and a strong argumentative claim. Next time, when I have my research, I hope to find better sources within academic journals since that is where I refer to for a lot of my information. I was challenged by organizing my essay to make sure my body paragraphs transitioned well into my counterargument. I will use the research process in the future classes, especially my psychology research classes. And here is my works cited.